How y'all doing? This is a Kizer Begleiter. I'd kind of taken a look at this a little while ago. This one actually picked up from White Mountain Knives because it was a return, and they said it had some problems. I think they were talking about blade play or something like that. I tightened it all up. It was a fantastic purchase for like, I don't know, 35, 38 bucks, somewhere around there. Great knife. VG10 steel on these guys, and some stone washing on the blade and all that sort of good stuff. A little bit of shadow boxed liners, but it's actually kept to a minimum, and they're kind of crowned, so it's fairly comfortable for your thumb and all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty darn good EDC knife for not a whole lot of money. However, they have recently come out with this, and this is the Begleiter 2. And they've improved some things. For one, this thing is using carbon fiber. I mean, obviously it is a carbon fiber G10 laminate. You know, you're generally not going to get a full carbon fiber slab on knives for around 50, 55 bucks, usually. That's perfectly fine with me. I do have some other carbon fiber laminate knives that I've purchased that I purchased knowing that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. What's interesting a little bit about this one is, yeah, it does have that nice flat polished kind of light dissipation sort of thing, but this thing is textured. Does kind of feel like the different weave directions are at different altitudes, for lack of a better word. So it does have a bit of grip to it, which is interesting. I do like how they were able to pull that off with still having that nice polished look on there. Obviously, it's not going to be heavily as textured as a standard G10 model. And I do think they're probably going to come out with a lot more different types of these, but this was the only one that I've personally seen released so far. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some differences here. Deployment with that thumb stud, still the same thing there. The steel, obviously they'd moved over to N690 from VG10 quite a while ago, and that's perfectly fine. You can see it might just be just a touch smaller. That's kind of coming with the sign of the times, and a lot of people liking knives that are smaller in general, not the giant Endura / police kind of Spyderco 4-inch sort of things. So this thing is just a little tiny bit smaller than the original there. This one comes with a little goldish sort of thing. It's probably aluminum, like this guy probably is. Nothing wrong there with a little touch of color. The big change with this is it's now on bearings. So yeah, once you get past that detent, it is drop-shut city. Which I can't believe I actually said that right the first time. I felt like I was drunk while saying it, but here we are. Next up, that's actually kind of cool, is they did tap both sides for the pocket clip. So you can carry this left-handed if you'd like. That pocket clip, by the way, is also now a deep carry clip rather than the normal carry clip that the originals have there. That's interesting. It's not hugely bothersome, but I do kind of think the other clip here was probably just a little tiny bit more comfortable. But, everyone's mileage is probably going to vary with deep carry clips. Y'all probably know I'm not the largest fan of them, so there's that. Let's see. They've deepened the sharpening choil on here. And it also looks to be a little bit more, no, it's about the same. It just looks different with the light. I was going to say it had a faster drop off on the plunge grind there, but it's about the same. But we do have jimping on the top of the blade, which this one does not. Does also kind of look like the stop pin up top there has been kind of reduced in girth just a little tiny bit. But I mean, it's a stop pin, so realistically, you're not really gonna run into an amazing amount of issues with warping, those sort of things. Yeah, I have not taken a look on the inside of this thing, nor have I cut anything with it yet. Like I said, I had just pulled it out of the mail here. So I do intend to open them up. But first, I do kind of want to just see what kind of sharpness we're dealing with out of the box. The detent is tuned really, really well on this one too, by the way. 245, not too bad. Not too bad. It does feel like it kind of has a bit of a toothy edge to it too, so that should probably work pretty well for a lot of folks. See, was there anything else I really wanted to talk about? We still have the same basic lock bar cutout sort of thing going on there as well. It's still not chamfered or anything like that, but you do have plenty of access, so works out quite well. All right, I want to take a look on the inside of this thing. That's one last thing I wanted to mention first here is we do have flush mount screws, but unfortunately the pocket clip does sit above there on both sides. They could have cut a channel in there. Obviously, you can do that fairly easily with these G10 laminate things. But they didn't, probably for aesthetic reasons and whatnot. I kind of understand that. So it does stay away from the hem of your pocket a little bit, but it could be just a little tiny bit better. All right, and it looks like I come in from this side. These are all T6s, by the way, which is fairly standard for the knife industry. I would like for the standard to move to T8s, like some other companies do. What are you gonna do? And yeah, T8 for the pivot there. Definitely feels like there's some Loctite sort of situation happening there. Yep. Alrighty. Yep. And you can definitely see we got G10 on the underside there. Perfectly understandable. Alright, and then a lot of times I will try to poke a pivot out through the back side, so it gives me an easier time getting the liner off. There we are. Okay, and yeah, they had a whole lot of talk about the bearing system that they ended up using, but as you can see, yeah, it's just brass caged ceramic bearings. These are itty bitty little tiny bearings. I've seen them in one or two other knives. And you can see we have some fairly heavy style, excuse me, fairly heavy style lubricant, almost like Vaseline or something like that going on there. Which is perfectly fine and easy to replace with something else if that's what you want to do. I will probably replace it with some KPO or something like that. Just because I do like it, and, well, I do have some. I'm running a bit low. I should probably pick up another bottle of this stuff at some point in the near future. But yeah, they cup inside the blade, and they ride flush on the liners here. So yeah, pretty par for the course. Let's change that stop pen over to this side. We do have quite a bit of skeletonization going on, even on the lock bar side there. That's kind of interesting. And then you have the larger holes down there. Always nice to see some skeletonization happening. There it is. Yep, this wasn't fully aligned. Sometimes you can tighten it in there, and this time you cannot. I had a feeling that that was the case. It's not a D-shaped pivot or anything like that. Oh, well, it is, but only on that side. Okay. How's that? Mustache hair, I guess. Well, that seemed to work out a lot better that time. Alright, back over to the T6. Get this thing back together. Make sure it actually threads properly. That would be nice. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to reduce the size of it. It's not the end of the world. It still fits my hands, which is definitely a positive thing in my opinion, especially because my hands are, fairly large. But yeah, the action on these things is pretty darn good. Let's see, where is... Yeah, there's the where the detent is, so not too far out. Makes it very easy to get over it just by giving it that little nudge with your finger. And yeah, the action on these guys is, nice and smooth from the from those bushings and everything in there, but nowhere near as drop-shutty. And hey, I do like N690 steel as well, so... Seems to be a great knife. Obviously, it's an ISO design. It's, very well known. I don't think it was necessarily marked on these originals. Oh, well, we got just a name there before he created the logo. But yeah, very, very nice EDC kind of thing going on here. I don't know what the coating on this is off the top of my head. I don't think it was listed. It's shiny, which generally makes me think, I don't know, I was going to say Cerakote, but a lot of times those are very, very grainy feeling. So maybe phase vapor disposition, or PVD, if you will. Certainly possible. It's not super incredibly expensive or anything like that. I don't think it's DLC coating or diamond-like carbon. But those things don't seem to be as popular as they were probably 10 or 15 years ago. I don't know. But overall, that's the Kizer Begleiter 2. They've changed it a bit, shrunk it down just a little tiny bit, giving you some jimping on the top there, giving you a deep carry clip, giving you ceramic bearings with an impressive action. And at least on this one, we have textured polished carbon fiber laminate on the top there. Alright, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. Peace, subscribe.